The night was heavy with rain, a storm that washed the city streets clean but left behind the shadows of pain that no water could erase. In the blur of traffic lights and thunder, a man in a dark suit sat behind the wheel of his luxury car, waiting for the light to change. He had made millions, signed deals worth fortunes, and built a life of control and power. Yet in that single moment, what froze his world was not another business call, but the sight of a small figure huddled at the edge of the road. She was drenched, shaking, her hair plastered to her pale face, her arms wrapped tightly around her knees. The rain seemed determined to crush her, and she didn't even move to shield herself. That stillness was what pierced his heart. She wasn't just cold. She was broken, abandoned, and utterly alone. That night, under the weight of the storm, a millionaire single dad stopped everything and stepped into a story that would change not only her life, but his as well. Before I take you further into this journey, let me pause here. If you believe in kindness, in the beauty of second chances, and in the power of one moment to change everything, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope tonight, and subscribe to StoryNest. Together, we keep these stories of compassion alive. Marcus Hale was not a man who believed in fate. He was practical, sharp, and disciplined. Life had forced him to be. Losing his wife years ago had left him to raise his little girl, Emma, on his own while running a business empire. He kept his emotions locked away, because emotions slowed you down, and slowing down meant losing. But when he saw that girl in the rain, thin, frail, and crying as if the world had given up on her, something inside Marcus cracked open. He parked his car, ignoring the way his expensive suit soaked through in seconds, and approached her. She was no older than 17, with a heavy brace strapped to her leg, its metal edges rusted by exposure. She tried to hide her tears when he knelt down, but the storm had already betrayed her. He didn't know her name yet, didn't know her past, but he knew one thing with absolute certainty: he couldn't leave her there. Her name was Lily. And her story was heavier than the rain that night. Her mother had died in a hospital bed she couldn't afford, and her father had walked away the moment life demanded more than he was willing to give. She had bounced between distant relatives and temporary shelters, but her disability made her a burden in a world too impatient for weakness. She had nowhere left to go. Each word she whispered made Marcus's chest ache. He thought of Emma sleeping in her warm bed at home, safe and loved, and he knew what his late wife would have wanted him to do. Without a second thought, he held out his hand and said the words that would change everything: "Come with me." Taking Lily home was not simple. The Hale mansion, with its warm glow and high ceilings, felt more like a museum than a place to belong. Lily stepped across the threshold as though she was trespassing into a dream she would soon be thrown out of. But Emma, sweet, 10-year-old Emma, ran forward without hesitation, hugging the stranger as though she had been waiting for her all along. That hug began to thaw the ice around Lily's heart. Yet even in safety, the scars of her past clung to her. She refused gifts, apologized constantly for eating too much, and woke from nightmares that made her cry silently into her pillow. Marcus was a man used to fixing problems with money, but this was different. He couldn't buy away her fears, couldn't erase the years of pain that taught her not to trust love. For the first time in years, he felt helpless. Doctors told him surgeries could improve her leg, but Lily resisted, terrified of being a burden. He sat with her by the fire on long nights, sharing stories of his own grief, the nights when he, too, felt crushed under loneliness after losing his wife. Slowly, she began to let him in. He started seeing glimpses of who she was beneath the pain: a girl who loved drawing, who hummed softly when she thought no one was listening, who dreamed of walking without her brace, even though she was too afraid to admit it aloud. But the world outside was not kind. Whispers began among Marcus's business rivals. Why was a millionaire sheltering a broken, homeless girl? Lawyers circled, questioning his fitness as a father to Emma. Marcus found himself standing against people who saw compassion as weakness. Yet each challenge only strengthened his resolve. He was no longer protecting just his daughter. He was protecting Lily, too. She had walked through storms no child should face, and he refused to let anyone take her back into that darkness. Time became their ally. Emma and Lily grew inseparable, filling the house with laughter that Marcus hadn't heard in years. Lily's surgeries were long and painful, but Marcus never left her side. He watched her grit her teeth through physical therapy, watched her take her first trembling steps without the brace, watched her eyes light up when she realized she could run, clumsy but free. And with every step Lily took forward, Marcus felt his own soul healing too. The emptiness his wife's death had left behind began to fill with something new. Something fragile but powerful. A family being rebuilt not by blood, but by choice. Spring came, soft and golden. One evening, Marcus stood on the porch as the sun set, watching Emma and Lily chase fireflies in the garden. Lily's laughter rang out, clear and unbroken, and Emma twirled around her as if they had been sisters forever. In that moment, Marcus understood the truth. The greatest fortune he had ever found was not measured in wealth or success, but in the simple miracle of reaching out to someone lost and saying, "Come with me." If this story touched your heart, I invite you, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to remember that kindness still exists, and subscribe to StoryNest. Your small act of support helps us continue bringing stories that remind the world of love, hope, and second chances. And before we close, I have a special request. Tell me in the comments which moment of this story touched you the most. Was it the rainy night rescue, the struggle through surgeries, or the final laughter in the garden? Your words could inspire someone else to believe and hope again. As the night fell gently over the Hale home, Marcus whispered a quiet prayer of gratitude. He had set out to rescue a stranger, but what he never expected was how much she would rescue him in return. Sometimes the most powerful journeys begin not with wealth or power, but with 3 simple words that hold the promise of a new life: come with me.